Thank you for joining me for 13 projects of Halloween. Today we're going to do a tag. It's kind of a prelude to the project for tomorrow. I had actually started it yesterday and things were just coming along so well, and it just kept building and building and building. I didn't want to rush that, so I thought, well, I'll jump on real quick, do a fun tag, and using a lot of the components and stuff from tomorrow. And hopefully it'll intrigue you enough and you'll return again for tomorrow's project. But if not, this one we just I go through and I use some of the shifter stencils. I actually use two of them, the original shifter, and then also use the shifter from the Christmas release. And that's how we get the background. And yeah, it's pretty easy, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for joining me.
So I've got a number 8 distress tag, and I'm going to use stencil THS 108 with some carved pumpkin, and I'm just going with the direction of the stripes. Just cleaning it off a little bit. Now with the shifter stencils, you just take and slide them over and line them up with another line. These are really cool stencils. If you haven't used them, I'd suggest giving them a try. I don't have any regular distress ink, so I'm using Twisted Citron stain here. And all I was really doing is being careful not to oversaturate my blender so it seeps under the stencil. Now this one here, this is THS 112 Mint, and I originally lined up the stripes with the bottom of the tag, so I know adding this one, if I'm lining it up with the bottom, it's gonna stay in line with the other ones. I started out with Wilted Violet and regular distress ink and decided I needed the opacity with the oxide, so I switch over here. And mainly it was just making it so that carved pumpkin you couldn't see through it. So here I'm taking some rock candy, just like Tim showed on his Instagram, and mixing in some pitch black alcohol ink, and then just laying it on a paper towel just to quickly dry. You can take and do this with any clear glitter. The alcohol ink is permanent, so if you use adhesives, it doesn't run. Now I've got stamp cobwebs from CMS 306, and I'm just randomly adding some black soot because I want just a very watered, light just interest in the background. So now I'm quickly drying, cleaning up any pools because I don't want it to grab your eye. This is stencil THS 93, and I'm just using I chose to use some transparent gloss texture paste by Ranger because the consistency was good to where I'm not going to get a real bulky base, but it doesn't seep under, and then that way too when it dries it's clear. You could use adhesive or whatever you have. I just happen to have this and like the texture. Okay, so I took and used the mixed media die, and I like to do this because then that way all those harlequins stay in line, and I know where they go if I want to place them back into the piece, just to break it up a little bit. And I also had a spare tag that I also used the mixed media die with also. So I'm just placing the black down. There was some double adhesive tape on there when I ran it through, and now I'm just lining up that extra tag that I had. It's all the same colors: Wilted Violet, Carved Pumpkin, and Twisted Citron. I just did more of the wrinkle free or smooshing technique to create that card. I'm just adhering it down just at the bottom because I wanted it in place, because I moved it slightly to the left. I wanted it in place before I ripped it. So now I'm just ripping it. And here I'm just showing that I'm removing the adhesive and just placing some of those pieces back in. And adding some black, but also some of the colored ones also. So now after laying and using some of my pieces from tomorrow's project, I am using some fringe and then some, pieces from the vignette box tops, the Halloween edition, and just layering them up. Inking the edges like I like to do. I like to frame my pieces. So this is just adding a small little completed look. I took and ran the Shadow Script Halloween Boo through, and also a piece of plain collage paper that we create tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. So please join me tomorrow for the big and final project for Halloween. And as always, thank you for joining me. I appreciate the views, the subscriptions, and the likes. Have a blessed day.